Welcome to Trading Lounge and the daily US stocks for Thursday, May 12, starting with Apple here. It's pretty come down and hit that trend line here, hasn't it? But anyway, it's going to come through that, so I'm just going to remove that and we can just use the levels. So we'd expect this to, be much further down around the, 140 to 130 sort of area in this space here. We'd probably look for, as I probably mentioned before, some sort of equality between these two lengths here. But anyway, it's always just a bit of a guide stick on that. So we're on 2K, 1K and 100. Let's just go in and check on this. So we'll pick it up from this wave B here on the 2K. So wave B here, I don't think we need these trades here, do we? We've got them really on the 100 ticks, so, or maybe we don't on that one, but anyway, we're on this trend anyway. So yeah, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and we're going down for 3. I don't think we're sort of there yet on that. And we'll be further down. I'm just going to move these actually. It's always a matter of tweaking these things, so I think that's got a bit more to go. That will be there. We'll need a bit of length on that, about the same as wave 1 here. And then wave 4, we'll pull back to that wave 4, and we could probably pull all this down a little bit further in here. Somewhere in that pathway anyway, bobbing along down here, you'd imagine, wouldn't one would imagine. Trend lines, wave 4s normally break the trend line, but we'll just see how we go. Anyway, that's enough for that chart. Just keep bringing all these charts in, and what's on the 1000, probably a bit more detail, which is good. Not a lot, but enough. Spikes, God, I love them. Don't worry about this too much at this point. $144's always an important number as well. That's where Gann and Fibonacci meet. 1212, 144, of course. The square, the Gann's 1212, 144 square for those folks. I'm not a full book on all of that, but I mean, I looked at Gann a lot and I found it fascinating, but I couldn't really make any money out of it. But I did pull all his Chrysler trades that he did over 10 years and put them into a spreadsheet and went back and re-engineered them, I suppose, if that's the right word, and worked out his strategy, which is basically how I got the robo strategy, which we don't really sort of do anymore. He used to do it on a weekly chart. Very simple, very practical, very unemotional. It's pretty good. Hopefully when we get our new website built, and maybe I can find another couple of analysts or something to help us with this Elliott business, I can go back into putting trades out and so on. Okay, well, that's good enough for the time being here. Let's go into have a look at this. Okay, looks like pick up sticks or something, doesn't it? Let's just get a bit more data in here. To maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000. Okay, that takes us up. So we've navigated ourselves all the way through here. So we're in a we're in a really good position, I mean, just, we didn't sell at the top or anything. We may have traded down here and probably got stopped out here. I can't remember. I can't recall, Your Honour. So, yeah, because when I think about it, we're in wave 2 here, which will be the third wave, and then we're in this wave 2, so we're in this third wave, and now we're in this third wave, so we're in the third of the third of the third, and we've really got all these trades in here. It took a lot of work and patience and all the rest of it, but now we're getting the benefits of that third wave there, you know. It's a bit unfortunate I don't live in the States, otherwise if I'd seen this I would have, you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda, got you in more places, but I'm always talking about how to get in, so perhaps you folks are in there. Now, you know, when a market goes through a, you know, large number, it does like to go back and retest it. I don't know if it's got, let's just take it from, really we've got 1, 2, all of that will be third, fourth, fifth of that one, so we should really have another little sort of thing like this before going back up there, but where would that leave us at this point here roughly? So 30, we may or may not get up there, you know. I'm not sure, but I know from experience that we need to leave the stop out of the way until this number here, this level, becomes the retested resistance. And the other thing that we're looking at here, we're looking, as you know, as I always harp on about, we've got group 1 here and group 2. So we'll see how that comes into play. The more that group 2 here becomes the resistance, then the likelihood we can just go straight down, because there is a lot of accumulation, a big pattern here. It's accumulation, and this is the distribution, so it doesn't really need to you know, come back and check it that much. There's too much weight in all of this at this point. So we'll leave this for now, and I'll just work on this trend in the off time, but probably don't need those there now, do I? But I could use these. So these will be over here. 3 and 4 and 5 for this third wave here. And they might come in handy, so I'll just move those across. We're at the medium level, so I'll just plonk that there. Minor group 2, I could use that, that's down here. This is minor group 2 here. But as you can see, you know, we've still got we've still got a long way to go in all of these to the downside, that is, you know. We really need to sell in that space. Going to copy that and put that there. To sell anywhere in there is fine, you know. And then once this low comes in, we can also come back into this again. We should be pretty much, it should be a pretty smooth ride down to here further. I mean, it's going to be a bit bumpy, you know, but yeah, no, I think if you've done any of this in here and you're still in the trend from any of these trades here, you've done well. You've done all the right things at the right time. I mean, of course, there's always room for improvement, but we're all doing the best we can. So better to support than criticize, I think. Rightio. So next. So Amazon on the daily chart. So here it's pretty clean to see that we've got 1 and 2, and then we've got this nice strong third wave in here, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here. So we're going to come down here on the 2000, the major trading level 2 here, have some sort of consolidation. Wave 2 never pulled back very far. It's like it didn't pull back to its 50-60% retracement level. It may do it in this case. There might be a fair bit of profit taking coming on, so the 38% retracement will be back up here to this previous wave 4, but I just don't think we're going to get there. So we've still got further to move down here, 1650, 1500, something like that. Okay, we've got 1K and 100 here that we'll have a look at. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a bit tricky getting through here. We're going to take some profit at the 2000, and then we're going to sell again in this wave 4. And this wave 4, there will be times I know what's going on and times I don't know what's going on. So when you know that, you can accommodate that. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go to the 100 ticks where we've got some trades. So the thing here is I think we talked about this yesterday a bit, obviously, because I got this here. We're going to take some money off the table at the 2000 or just before. It's always good. But that means that, you know, this wave 4 here technically can pull back to this wave 4 of 1 less degree, but I don't think it's going to do that. I'll see what other markets are doing at that stage. I think it's sort of going to be between, you know, 2 and 3 here tops, you know, even if that's the case, you know, it may not even be that, you know. But once again, just on the short side here, you can see we've got wave 3, 4 and 5 to go down here. So we've still got a fair bit of time to, you know, this is where we need to tie the, you know, all the markets, you know, I mean, even Bitcoin, you know, because Bitcoin, well, I was thinking about it, I was kind of puzzled for a while, and I was thinking, why does Bitcoin follow the NASDAQ, you know? And then I'm sort of looking at these stocks here and Microsoft and all the rest of it, and you know, then it just sort of dawned on me that, well, they're technology stocks, aren't they? And really, Bitcoin is technology, so it's being sort of viewed as a technology stock. I mean, we know it's not a stock, but it kind of sort of is in a way. It's a product, isn't it? It just has different functionality than these guys, that's all. Yeah. Okay, so we've got from wave 4 here, this wave 4, minor wave 4 to minor wave 5 here. We're looking for 5 waves down. This is the thing here, because if we look at this here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1 and 2, then we're just starting into this 3rd wave here, really. So it could be a little bit short, I don't know, but we could end up sort of being down here in all of this as well. So don't go panicking at this number here, but to take something off that you're comfortable with is certainly good, but we're going to leave the stop out of the way. We're going to try and get through this, because like this wave 4, you know, let's just check on this little guy. I mean, see, that was only at 24%, so we could expect maybe a 25%. No, it won't even be that. That still brings it back up into this area here. Let's just check on this. That's 38.2 that you would expect it to come back to. So back to here, yeah, the 23. Yeah, it may do. You can do little spikes and all those sort of things. So that's where we're sort of looking at this point, but we don't even know that yet. One of the things is that, so if this is wave 2 here, and we need this wave 3 here to be just as long or thereabouts for wave 3, so it should sink in here, you know. We should get some, it's going to be rough around here, that's for sure. But if it sinks into here, then it's not going to rally much up into this direction, you know. But we don't have our, you know, we had trades all up through here. We don't have them now because I took them out here because I thought this was going to take us back a bit. So that's a little bit annoying, but it's a good trade all the same. But this is where we are now, and you know, all these are quite close. We'll just see how it goes. I'll have a look at the rest of the markets as well and see how it all looks. I mean, we really want to take it off at this point. You know, this is the one that we want to take it off at. This 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, taking it off at this one here. I think we'll do that. I think that's a better thing. But where this will be, I don't know. You know, and what you can expect here is that you can definitely expect it to go back to here and maybe even a bit higher. But the trend that we're in, it shouldn't show that up. It should just be basically 1 and 2 again here, and 1 and 2 of another one, and yeah, it should just come down further. I think we'll look at it at this point here, and we'll probably take more off it than off here. But anyway, I'll leave that up to you. Just thinking out loud as I'm working. So Google, this is 100 ticks. So we've got a position here and here. I've put another one just in here, and I brought the stop down from the top down to here. So we should be all set up for the big fall. Now, you can also look to add again if you wanted to further down here under this low. We can also add under here as well, the 200 here. We could also add on the bounce as it bounces back from that. Yes, plenty to look at in this side. This will be our basic pathway through all of this. It should be, you know, it's okay. It should trend lines are okay until they're not, but they can kind of, you know, at least they can tell you that we're shifting this side. We should be shifting this side, you know. The third of the third can break the trend line down here. That's possible. So this wave 3 can come down and break that, but that will be further down. But it also gives us perspective on you know, looking at these bigger stocks. It gives us an idea of when this bear market's going to finish, you know. And for the indices as well, of course. I mean, these are the indices, aren't they? So Meta here, we were looking at, you know, we were looking at this being a low in here as well, but it didn't really match up with the rest of the markets. The rest, you know, the other tech stocks needed to come down. So, you know, this should be down, you know, closer to anywhere between, you know, 130 to 100 in here for this, which will be a fantastic buy. I mean, it's going to be really interesting, you know, as we keep slipping down here, all the media and all the opinions and things that you read will be, you know, that the world is over, you know. But as they say, or as somebody mentioned, you know, when they're all screaming like that, then that's the time to buy, and that's hopefully what we'll be doing. So let's go into the tick chart here. So they've got wave 2 up here. So in a nutshell, we're going down for wave 3. We know it's a long way down because we just looked at the daily chart. So with that in mind, what have I got here? Don't need these two. So just to give you some bearing, we're looking at this wave 2 up here down to this wave 3 here, and we're looking for 5 waves within that space. So we've got blue wave 1 here and blue wave 2 here, so we're going down for blue wave 3, 4 and 5. And then we still have, this is minor wave 3, we have minor wave 4 and minor wave 5. So yeah, we'll see how this plays out. Seems to be going okay. Once again, we've done all the right things here. We've got lots of trades in. So if you've got any of these, well done you. And it's easier said than done, isn't it? But anyway, so we've got 1 and 2 here, and then we're looking down here as 1, 2. I've got to sort that out here. But what we're going to try to do tomorrow is try to sell on the rally. That's even got further to go down. That's corrective, so it's going to take out that low there. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's okay. That's okay. That's 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're still going to come down further on this. Maybe I need to rearrange these 1s and 2s. Still leave myself short if I put this wave 1 here. So I think what we'll do here, let's just take going to take this one. So yeah, that's 50%. That's where, I mean, that's already been rejected here, so it might not go back above that. I mean, that they're all through here, those lows are the resistance there, you know, and it's already sort of touched on that at that point. So that's 38.2. So do I need to look at it like that? I'm not sure. Sorry, guys. But we do want to sell if it comes into this space over here again. So I'm just making that really wide there. So see, the thing here is basically it's comes down on this. It's all about this number, and it's been rejected each time at that point, right? It's been supported by group 2 in a way, but now group 2 is also being tested as the supports, as a resistance. So I'm hoping it might just come back up and test it again before going down in a series of 1s and 2s, but it might not be the case. So I think I need to remove that a bit. Look, it'll probably come down here first a bit further and then come back up here. So if it does something like that, then there's two things that you need to do. You need to look to short it under this low, and then also using the 190 here as a classic trading levels pattern here on the downside here. So in some way we need to get another position over here somewhere. I mean, if it does go straight up from there, then bring that one up to that point. And the reason I'm saying this for is because we're in wave 1 here and 2 here, so we're in the third wave, we're in the blue third wave, and then we've got these 1s and 2s and 1s and 2s in here to come in, you know. So this is the place where we need to basically build up, because it's going to try to retest these things up here, this consolidation here, you know. Because the people that are long here, when this comes back up here, the first thing they're going to do is get out, you know, because it's a chance to break even again, you know. You know the story. We've all been through it. Microsoft, yeah, so I mean, at minimum, we're looking for some sort of equality here for this, at minimum, but it will probably come down further. There'll be support at the 250, which is the medium level. We'll go to 2K and 100. We'll pick it up from wave B to wave C and get some sort of understanding. Wave B, so we've got wave 1 and 2, 1 and 2, going down for 3, 4, 5, for the third, fourth, and fifth. So they're kind of fitting in with Google Alphabet in that way. That's what we're trying to do. So that's where that is at the moment. The interesting thing here too is that this is group 2 here, 65, 72 and 80, and you can see how it made support here, tried to pin it back to the 3, doing its job, couldn't do it, starts to fail, and you know, had its last bastion here, had its first little retest of the 65, so it's rejecting that now. So it should be a pretty smooth trip coming down to the 250 at this point. And obviously there's going to be support here, but there's not really a lot between these two numbers. Yes, I know 60's there, and well, there is a lot if you want to pull it all apart between there. You know, you just keep breaking the levels down. So we got 5 is strong, we've got 53, 55, 58, they're all part, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and then back to 60 again. 62 is important because it's basically, in geometry terms, it's the 61.8, 618. So that will, they're just subtle, but if you know about them, you can kind of work with them on smaller degrees. Let's go to the 100, where we've got some trade sitting here. It's pretty much been the same sort of story in a way that that we've been trying to get into most of these moves to the downside. I think we've done pretty well. In this case, we've got to break even here, so we've got you might not have all of these, you might have more, whatever, but yeah, it's all about 65, 72 and 80. This is what it's all about, and we can see that the 65 here is you could even use 62 on these lows here. I reckon that's what I just mentioned before, but that's just more subtlety. So yeah, we're looking for this to move down. I'll need to count that there, of course, but it doesn't really matter at this point. The worst comes to worst, we can retest this here and come down again, and if that's the case, then you need to look at shorting wherever that is. And when this goes up here, obviously there's going to be it's going to be corrective. If it goes up from here, it's going to have 3 waves here, so you can just look for that wave B here, or you could sell it higher up depending on what if it goes back above the level, then use the classic trading levels pattern. But really it was the support, and now it's going to be the resistance. It's tried to check it here and here, so it may not even check it here. It might just keep on moving down through here, which I'd imagine, because we're in the third of the third here, so we're seeing that stronger move down. So there'll only be little retests within all of this, and obviously when you get closer to the market, you can work the 260, because that's what's happening at the moment. Always gravitate to the closest, largest number. Close enough anyway. So when the 60 becomes the retested resistance with the classic, this is what's happening here, and it's got the arrival, the reaction, and then the first low below the level, and so on. So you could do it that way there as well. Use that, or we can just copy that and put that there. Any sort of retest into that space, any classic trading levels pattern on the 60, and so on. We'll look to take some off the table down here, but we still have a long way to go. I mean, even this wave 2 to wave 3 here, we really want it longer than this wave 1 here. So just grabbing that for a moment, putting it here, so we could put, at minimum, we could put wave 3 here for this, which would leave wave 4 over here. Really, it should be another 60%. So this 60% I've got up here, this 60% up here, we could add that onto the equation, really, bring it down to this one here, and this wave 3 really should be down here, but it's not really good. I don't know if it's going to be the case, but you never know. But so, and we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, all going good at this point. It's nice when things pan out, makes life a little bit easier. And that's the markets for you, isn't it? It's like a boxing ring. Rightio, so that's that. Tesla's coming down nicely. So as you know, we've been looking at wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then we're going down for 3, 4, 5 for the third wave here, and we still have the 4th and the 5th. So we may even be coming down lower than than I expected. So because when we were up here, I was always thinking of this trend line here and this trend line, so I was thinking, well, the 650 is the closest one, we'll call that in, but we may need to adjust that. We may end up being down at the 500, because when you think about it, if this is 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, and we're going into the third wave here, well, really the 1s and 2s here, so this is really, at this point here, let's just say the 800, probably lower, but that would be the halfway mark of this trend from wave B down to wave C here, really. So I mean, if we took this here down to 800 here, and I'm being conservative here at the moment, then we could take that, put on the 800, and we'll be at the 500, because it's basically the halfway mark in here somewhere. I could pin that right down for you, but just to give you an idea, so we could start looking at 500 rather than that. But we'll see how it goes, because sometimes things just tend to squash up at the end, or they can stretch out, and yeah, it just depends on the sentiment of the whole thing. So let's just cruise in. We're on 2k and 1k and 100 here, so I'll just want to update a few things along the way. So wave 2, wave 2, wave 2, and going into wave 3, 4, 5 to the third wave. So from 2 to 3 here, minor wave 2 to minor wave 3, that's what we're looking at. So minor wave 3 should take us down into the 650, and then 4, 5, and then 4 and 5. So yeah, there's still a long way to go in this. It's got more to go here than it has in Google, but Google's quite slow as well, so this is a bit quicker. But we do, as we're coming into all this area here, as I mentioned, we've got to tie in more and more and more everything, you know, banks, all the stocks that we're looking at, all the markets around the place. I don't know what the catalyst will be for this to, you know, to move up. Will it be the victory for the Russian invasion? You know, I don't know. I mean, could be. As Practice once said, wars normally in sea waves. Well, okay, that's 2. Sorry, just losing the plot. Sorry about the noise. We get still quite early here. We get possums on the roof, and which we love, and lots of birds, big birds that land on the roof. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2. So we're going down into this third wave. It's moving quite nicely. See this third wave here, so moving quite nicely. There's some important numbers in here, but nothing really serious between 650 and 8. I mean, from 700 you can look at 7, 10, 20 and 30 for group 1, then 50 and then 80 for the midpoint, and then from 7 we can work it down to 6 here. So they're all, everything is important, but some things are just a bit more important than others, and this 650 is more important than 7 and 600. Bit weird, I know, but, and it's also the halfway mark between 5 and 8, but you'll see it on a lot of stocks, you know, $65, 65,000 like Bitcoin, $6.50, 65 cents. Okay, but that gives you a pretty good idea of where we are. So let's just go into our trades, because we've got trades all around this area here, and we've gotten through this number here. I mean, it's just fantastic. It wants to retest it, and I can see from here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here, but we still got a 1, 2 here. So we'll have rallies and a bit lower, but let's just go into 100. So once again, if you've shorted this and you've got something like this, and that's fantastic. I mean, the reason I say it's good, as you know, is because and I have changed the count here so many times, but you know, we've done the job of getting positions in here and then holding on for dear life, and then, you know, making short trades under the level here, you know, because that's basically what we're supposed to do. You know, when you're looking at this pattern that I keep haunting everybody about, these, when you've got a level here, you've got the lows here, you know, these are the ones that you need to short. When you're shorting, you come up from the bottom, and when you're going long, you're coming down from the top, and that way it just keeps you safer. You'll get better returns, you know, better win-loss ratio figures. We're going from wave 2 up here down to wave 3 here, so that's where we are here. So you can kind of see in that instance from 2 to 3 here, we've got all of this is wave 1 and 2 here, and we're going into the big third wave here, the fourth wave and the fifth wave. So, you know, I might need to adjust this down here somewhere in this sort of case. I'm not quite sure yet, but it looks like the way. So there's a lot to go on here. The 650 will take up these 4s here, this number here. like the 7 will be important. So 6 and 7 pick tops and bottoms, but the balance point is a 650. That's where you would take the trades from based on that. So looking at this as 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, the fourth and the fifth wave down here for this wave 3, and then this wave 4 here, and then this wave 5 down here. So we may be up here a little bit further. Maybe I was just getting too excited, but something like that, you know. But yeah, I mean, look, we've got some positions in here, so that's okay. I don't feel too bad about missing this, but it's nice to put these into more profit, you know. But I am going to leave the stop out of the way until this is settled here. Once I've got a clear pathway on this. It will be this one here, that will be these two that we need to concern ourselves with, how much they can rally. They'll be, you know, the 38.2%, but we'll need to know that once we get down into this area here for this, something like that. Once we've got that, well, I could probably just take that to there, and I'll put that at 700, and that's the 38.2. So yeah, it's all about this. When we count it here as 1, 2, 3, 4 here, it's all about that. So all the fours, you would think all the fours would, you need to keep your stop out of the way of this here. So all the fours would line up above, you know, with that. I mean, if you're looking in a textbook, they'll all be like this. That would be the level. That would be all the right ratios at that point, because that's the way for there. But it doesn't really work like that. Sometimes they do, but they tend to sort of move down in their own sort of. You kind of got something more like that. But we'll see. We'll see. This one can easily come back because it's got a close relationship to it, and this one could get reasonably close, and it depends on the numbers then. So now we're looking at, now we know that we can look at 750. So 750, we want to see a couple of these three at least have that 50 as the support. I mean, we could move this down above the top of, so 780, we could have it at 784 or 787 there. That's where we could put it, because that's above group 2 there. But I'm just going to put it out of the way. It doesn't really matter where it is at the moment. Everything's looking pretty good. So I'll move on. Square. So this is 10,000 ticks here, so it's almost like a daily chart, and we're looking at it as 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5. The only other thing I could, you know, and then coming down for the A wave here, and then we talked about coming back up for the B wave and then down for the C wave. I don't know, the only other way I can get out of this is by looking at this as an ABC here for an A wave, and then a B wave here, and put this B wave here. So it's possible. I just need to mull it over a little bit further, but it's the fact that it pulled back up to the 38.2% or thereabouts, you know, it sort of tells me it's more likely a wave 4 than a B, but I just need to mull this over a little bit. I mean, it's pretty horrific move down here, and we'll probably end up seeing it come down into $30 below 50 anyway, you know. I just haven't, maybe on the weekend I'll have a look at the other guys, and the other Spotify's and PayPal's. Okay, so I'm just going to go into, I've got 1,000 ticks here now. I'll just check on that from wave 4 down to wave 5. Okay, so I've reshuffled this. I've rejigged this a little bit. Let me just go for, that's where we've been working. Let me go to 2,000. Just, okay, so this is what I've moved it out a little bit. So now that when you think about what we've just been through with Google and some of the other guys, we've still got waves 3, 4s and 5s to come down at least. Do you know what I mean? So I'm thinking now that we'll look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here for 1 and 2, then 1 and 2 here, and then 3 coming down to here, 4 and 5. So it brings us down pretty low into the, you know, below 50 anyway. But that's what I'm thinking. So based on that, which probably, you know, puts us in line with the banks and everything else, I think, at this point. So that, so 1,000 ticks where we had our trade sitting here. So I've started this, I think. Yes, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1 and 2. I've got this one here. I don't think that's the case. I'm just going to blank that out. Just still, I know that I'm always tuning things in and changing things, and I know that's annoying, but it's I don't know, it's better to be flexible and just, you know, I mean, it's you know, trend line is straight, and you know, 20 period moving average is also a trend line, but it's like a trend line doing yoga, and I think that our minds need to do yoga in terms of our counting and how we perceive the market moving down and how it moves with other markets and how they all come together and move away and all sorts of things. So, you know, rightio. So yeah, just sorry about that. So we've got 1 and 2 here, and then blue wave 1 and blue wave 2 there. We'll just move that. I might move that after all. 1 and 2. I still got to figure this out in here a little bit. I got to, yeah, this is a bit of an issue for me, counting this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. I can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. That's not a problem. We can bring the stop down further. I'm just going to leave it there until I understand, until I really nailed in that count, you know. 1 and 2, I mean, it could be a B wave. It's got to be the third wave here. It's got to be the third wave in here. So I mean, it can come down further. And that's got to be wave 2. But my question is do we extend it out further with wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and then this is all of something else? That's what I've got to kind of figure out. But it doesn't really matter. We're still coming down, you know. Once the 80's been retested, or the 72 here is the most important thing. Once that's been tested, then we're at the 65. So we've just been talking about 65. We're going to see that come into play here again as well. But overall, I think we're doing quite well. I mean, this is down 15%. It's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot. But once again, our trades are really looking fantastic, and we'll just keep on edging lower. It's a little bit difficult for me to add here because I know that we're going to be coming into these. I won't look to add until I can see these wave 4s come into play. Once we've got these wave 4s, we can add on this one, and this one. We'll be definitely taking money off the table on this one, something anyway, on this number 3. Yeah, we do want to add on these ones. So anyway, just leave it with me. We've got more time to sort this out. It's not going anywhere except down. So I'll move on. And this is FXL. So once again here, just to give you an idea on the banking sector, we've got wave B here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for 1 and 2. And then we're going down for 1 here and 2 here. And then we'll need 3, 4 and 5 to come down here further. So we'll be down here for this wave 3, wave 4, wave 5 down here, I'd imagine somewhere. Yeah, so this is the banking sector just as an ETF. You know, we're not trading it, but maybe we should get some ETFs and have longer term positions on them. Anyway, I'll put it on the list. Okay, so BAC is the other one. So the same. That's why I showed the other one. So the same here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for coming down into 1 here, and then we'll look for wave 2 here. We also want to, once this is finished here, that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a bit more to come down here. On the old low is fantastic. So then there'll be an A and a B and a C wave coming here. So that's Thursday. We'll look for the rally, the bullish weekly cycle in reverse. So we'll just copy this and put that over there. We can also look at this and do it in another way as well. If we take that down to that previous low here or thereabouts, you can adjust it. That will leave that at 60, so it'll be on that wave 4 high. So that means we can look to short from here to, I'm going to bring it down. What's number is that? 36. So I'm going to bring it a bit deeper. We just want to position in there somewhere, anywhere. You can refine that, of course. I mean, the thing you can understand here is that this move up here is corrective, right? It's correct, so we need to take that low out. It just helps with the bearish thing. If you know that that's corrective, then it just makes life a little bit easier to short over here, because you know at some point that low's got to be taken out, which is going to get you down here. And we're going to get a classic trading levels pattern at the 35 here, 5 being the second strongest number. So we're going to see something like this. Just drawing it very simply, but we also want to be in on that there. And you could also, you can do lots of things. It's all about managing your exposure, really. That's just about it. So but the trick is not to get too close to the market that it's going to take you out. You know, once that's been done and the market moves down here, then we can move it down on top of this one. And you can always move them down a bit further. So I've got it here. We can move it down to that second one in this case, but we don't want some spike on this wave 2 taking us out. So if we leave it just a fraction above that, then we know the whole thing is safe. We just have to grin and bear you know, the market coming against us in that regard. You know, I'm sure there's better ways to do things, but you do need to take the technical side of managing that exposure. You know, it's mathematics on the contract side of things, how many and when and you can and all the rest. I find Ryan Jones is quite good at that. His mathematical system really is kind of like the Fibonacci numbers in a way, in terms of adding contracts and so on and so on. Yeah, so that's, I mean, there's plenty of different systems out there, but I kind of like that one in a way. Yeah, but then you've got to take the technicals into space as well. Then you've got to find a position that, you know, that you're comfortable with over the, you know, like a day trader or intraday trader or long-term trend trader, and everybody's got their thing and everybody tries different ways of doing things, you know. But I think being a day trader, trading intraday, you just learn so much so quickly. So that's the benefit of it, you know. Like if you were scalping this trend here, well, then you can just go in there and start counting it, you know, start working it, you know, because you'll just learn so much. And each stock is uniquely different as well to another one, you know. So here I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 waves to the downside. That means that I could short any rally because I got 5 here. It means I'm going to get another 5, you know. So you can look at that. Or have I made a mistake? Is that 1, 2, 3 here and 4 to here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here, and then the ABC pattern here? You know, should I be shorting here? You know, or should use the levels because that's the low end of group 2 here, so I could wait for that to become the resistance, you know. So there's, you know, there's lots of different ways you can do things, but anyway, you learn a lot going on the small scale, and you learn it fast, and you will lose money, you know. I mean, 90% of people that day trade will lose money, you know, so it's nice to you have to stay in a trend to make money. Alrighty, that's enough waffling. Thanks for tuning in, much appreciated. Cheers.